Hi everyone, this is Rachel at StudioUs with another at-home art lesson for you guys. Today we're going to be making some really pretty Easter ornaments. They can either be stuffed to hang or left open to be little treat pockets for Easter egg hunts. So let's gather up our supplies. You'll want to get our template for all of the shapes you need off of our website. We've got a link down in the information below. And then you'll have your egg, all of the flower pieces you need. You'll need some scissors, a Sharpie marker, you'll also want felt. We're going to use a few different colors. Here we're using yellow, white, green, and purple. You can use any color combination you want, of course. So purple will be on an egg, the rest of the colors will be on the pieces. We're going to use embroidery floss in green, cream, and dark purple. You'll want to be sure you'll have a needle that you can thread embroidery floss through, and you'll also need a glue gun. So first things first, we're going to cut out all of the shapes from our template so that we can start making this beautiful flower egg. So I've got all my shapes cut out, and I'm going to start with my egg. And I'm going to use 2 pieces of purple and trace my egg onto each piece. These pieces are 1/4 of a normal single sheet of felt that you get from like a craft store. So I'm going to take my Sharpie, line it up right in the center, and just very, very lightly trace around the outside. Go light enough that you can see, but not put so much Sharpie on there that it's like running off on your hands and bleeding into the rest of the fabric. So we'll trace our egg on both pieces of purple. We want to have 2 eggs, that way we can sew the 2 pieces together at the end. Alright, eggs are finished up. Move on to the next step. We're going to grab our long, kind of pointy oval piece. We'll make 2 of these. These are going to be the leaves for our daffodil. Using a Sharpie marker, again, just trace 2 copies of that shape. And when you're tracing these on your felt, try to put them as close together as possible. That way you don't waste any of your fabric. I'm just using small scraps that I have left over, since I have lots of extra felt hanging around the studio. And if you save space, you'll have lots of scraps too. Alright, we're going to take our little acorn-shaped piece. We're going to make 6 of these. These will be the petals for our daffodil. Really take your time, make sure you're getting just the right outline. If you make a little mistake, it's okay to just make it out. Just very nice and clean. All 6 of our petals traced, so we're good to go there. Last piece we need is our little bumpy piece. This is going to be the center of our daffodil. And I'm going to line up the long flat bottom and the flat side on a corner of my fabric. That way I only have to trace the top and one side, so that's less cutting for me to do. It saves my fabric, and it saves me a little extra time. There we go. So we'll gather up all of our pieces of felt, make sure we have everything we need. 1 bumpy piece of yellow, 6 white petals, 2 green leaves, and 2 purple eggs. What I'm going to do is take my scissors and cut all of these out. If you're not familiar with cutting felt, it can be a little tricky at first. You kind of want to squeeze slowly, and notice that I'm cutting inside the Sharpie line, so I'm right on the inside edge. When we trace our template, the Sharpie goes around the outside and makes it a little bigger than it normally would be. So to get it the same size as our template, we want to cut right inside that Sharpie line. And you're going to do this for all of your pieces. So once you've got your egg done, cut the rest of your pieces out, and we'll get started. Alright, got all of my pieces cut out. I'm going to grab my needle. It's got a big enough eye that I can thread an entire piece of embroidery floss through it. I'm going to flatten that floss out, so just slide right through the eye of the needle. Give it a little tail so it doesn't slide off, and we're going to tie a knot at the end so that it doesn't pull through our fabric. There we go. So we've got our knot, we've got our needle on our thread. What we're going to do is envision a line going right down the center of our egg, and that's going to be the stem for our daffodil. So I'm spotting right down the center, keeping track of where I want to start. I'm going to push through the inside, pull through till I hit the knot, and then go up about 1/2 centimeter and pull through. There's our first stitch. Now we're going to back stitch this. At least I think that's what this is called. So I'm going to go up about 1/2 centimeter on the back of the fabric, pull it all the way through back to the front. What I can do now is go back down and fill in that empty space. Pull it through. Now I'm starting to get a stitched line. Next, right where that top stitch left off, I'm going to poke my needle through, trying to use the same hole so they line up nice and even. Pull it through to the front, and we'll do another 1/2 centimeter stitch. Pull through. And you'll keep going up one, so we go up about 1/2 centimeter, push through the back, go down about 1/2 centimeter, down through the front, back out the top of that stitch. Got a little knot in the back, just kind of pull backwards on it, straighten it out. And this allows us to line those stitches up using almost the exact same hole. If we tried to do that in just a straight stitch, the string would pull through and we wouldn't be able to get anything in the hole. By back stitching, we're able to get that line going while keeping points where our needle is going through our fabric nice and even and in line. So I'm going to stitch up about halfway through that egg, kind of eyeballing where I think my flower should go and how far high up it should be on the egg. Not. One or two more stitches and I think we'll have it. It's nice and in a straight line. That'll do. So to tie off, we're going to take our needle, slide it under the top of the last stitch in the back, take our string right where it's coming through from the front, wrap it around the needle twice, and pull it through until it's tight. Slide that knot down a little bit so that it stays snug. trim off our thread, so grab your scissors, leave a little bit of a tail, just trim that thread off, and we have our stem. So from here we can start mapping out where we want our flower to go on our egg. So I'm using my tiny white petals, and these kind of adhere to the felt underneath them. So I can stick them on there and map out how I want my flower to look, how high up the egg I want it, and where I want it to overlap things. This also gives me a chance to space out the petals evenly before I sew them on. So that looks pretty good to me. We're going to take a needle with purple embroidery floss and a knot at the end. And we're just going to sew a little stitch going from the center of each petal about 1 centimeter out into the petal. So we'll poke up through the bottom. Start with that bottom petal, so I start right at the top, just above where the needle would go through that white fabric, and then going right down the center of the petal about 1 centimeter in, just kind of tack it on there. Same thing with this one, just going through the purple fabric at the top of that petal, and then about 1 centimeter into the petal, going back in through the bottom. Are falling off, so we'll bring those back in a second. Just tack on one at a time. Work all the way around. While it's still loose, you can kind of set up the shape, make sure it's right where you want it. Lined up, we're going to pull it tight. Get our last petal on. Stitch. And then we'll flip it over to the back. Going through one of our other purple stitches. Slide it under the thread. Thread, wrap it around the needle twice, and pull tight, just like we did with the stem. Leave a little tail, trim off the thread, and we're good to go. Alright, so we're going to bring in our hot glue gun here to speed things up just a little bit. If you would rather not do all of the stitching, you can use the hot glue for everything. We're going to use a little bit of a mix here. I'm going to put a thin line of hot glue down the center of my leaf. Flip it over, careful not to touch the hot glue. And stick it right on our purple egg. Map out where I want my other leaf to land. It's going to overlap the leaf a little bit underneath it. Put my thin line of glue down the center. Flip it over and stick that bad boy on there. So far so good. If you decide you want to get the stitch down the middle, you can always go back and do that. I'm going to set up the center for our flower first. So with that yellow piece, we just kind of roll it up, and it goes right in the middle. And to get that to stick, we're going to put glue down one side, all the way down the long way, and you want it down near the bottom, not up near the little bumpy parts. And very carefully wrap up that yellow piece in a little spiral. I like to use a low temp hot glue gun. It keeps me from burning my fingers too bad, but even then it's still really hot, so you still want to be careful. So we'll squish that together, let the glue cool down a little bit, eyeball where we want it to go, and you can take your glue gun, put a big dollop of hot glue at the bottom of that yellow spiral. That'll help hold it together even more, and we're going to press it down onto our egg. Once you've got it on, you can see it kind of sticks out nicely, has a nice 3D effect. Or you can mush it down a little bit more, kind of spread out those bumps to get more of a petal effect, so it looks even more like the real thing. So we've got our two pieces ready to go. If you decide you want to put the embroidered line down the center of the leaves, you can take your green embroidery floss, and just like we did with the stem, you're going to just backstitch all the way down that leaf. So you can glue it on, you can stitch it on, or you can go overkill like me and then glue it on and then stitch it on. Got that going. We'll go all the way down both leaves. Get going. So you can see I finished the embroidery on the leaves. It's looking pretty good. Put our eggs lined up. Make sure all of the strings from the back are tucked in so they're not showing through. And we're going to start a little bit down from the top of the egg. And I'm using a cream embroidery floss with a knot at the end. And about 1.5 inches down from the very top. I'm going to start by poking my needle through just the first piece. So starting from the back of the top piece out to the front. And that allows me to tuck that knot inside and hide it. Then I'll go around, come in from the back of both pieces, wrap my string around once, and pull it tight. And this is going to give us a nice little blanket stitch effect. Go all the way down, so I'll show you that one more time. Coming in through the bottom, out through the top, wrap the string once, and pull. Get a little bump. You can kind of slide your needle through, pull it tight, and balance it out. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to this, but you want them nice and flat. Just keep going all the way around until you get to about the same height on the other side. There we go. So we're going all the way around, so the same height on the other side, keeping our stitches close together, no more than a centimeter apart. Alright, so I've stitched all the way around. I've got about 1.5 inches down from the top on either side. And what we can do, we have two options. So we can open this up and it can be a great little thing to hide treats in if you want sort of a homemade Easter egg that's not made out of food. So if you want to do that first option, all you've got to do, if you want, you can tie a little ribbon or glue a little ribbon onto the top, so we'll kind of tuck that ribbon inside and glue one edge to either side. That way you can hang it on a branch, on a doorknob if you're doing an inside Easter egg hunt. The second way, we're going to stuff it. So I've taken mine and stuffed it full of stuffing. That way I've got a nice little stuffy egg ornament. Now, just like with the other way, I can glue my ribbon on the inside. So I'm going to put a little dot of glue on the inside of one side. Stick my ribbon on top of it and glue it down. Going to the other side right at the top. A little dot of glue on the opposite side. Smooth out my string so it curves around. Line it up and press it down. Now since I'm sewing it shut, I can press those two sides together and that'll help hold it shut a little extra. Like that. Finish sewing up the top. Alright, we've made it all the way to the end, so we're going to tie off. Open the needle through the back, grab it twice, pull it tight. And then my little secret for hiding the end of the string is I slide it through one of the holes in my blanket stitch and out, all the way through the middle, out the other side, making sure not to go through the string. And I pull it tight, trim that string off, and it'll kind of slurp back down into the center there and be invisible. There you have it, your very own Easter egg ornament. Hope you guys had a great time. Good luck with these, and I'll see you next time.